Oh my God, these gnats are annoying. Yo, YouTube, what's good, bro? Here we go with another Nick Crowley video. After this, we're gonna check out some Mr. Nightmare or maybe Mr. Ballin'. I don't know. I'm just in the mood of being nosy and looking at some true crime stuff, or just, you know, getting scared. We about to watch some like comedic movie after this, so it's all good. I think it's gonna balance itself out. Especially a lot of people say it's probably the funniest movie of the year. I want to know if you've seen it. The Naked Gun remake. I'm actually surprised that it worked out. I'm really happy that it did. But let's go ahead and check this video out, man.
Tell you what we're gonna do today more than anything else. We're gonna do this. Nice guy must die. Nice guy must die. Nice guy must die.
That dude looked like the one guy with the drawing.
The street. Here's my car. This is a 2-bedroom brick ranch, conveniently located.
It's the final day of February 2008. A 47-year-old man living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, named George Sedini, publishes his very first video to YouTube under the channel MOS B46PGH.
The hell is that supposed to mean, sir?
I paid $79,000 for this in 1996.
Mustard on that sorry bitch.
Believe it or not.
The upload, titled How George Pittsburgh Lives, was almost like an old-school house tour of sorts, as George proudly displays the outside of his home, before then doing the same inside.
Open it up.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that, Jay.
It's not good. Inside, okay. Pan to the other side.
Seemingly making a point of mentioning every minute feature in the otherwise dim and empty home.
Here's my big screen TV. It's my computer, couch and chair, they match. Dining room set, shoebox full of old pictures.
To anyone who may have stumbled upon this strange video or Sedini's channel in general back in 2008,
this video
it would likely
strange.
come
He's
off
just giving
as
us a house
entirely
tour of his
uninteresting
basic
and far
house.
from anything disturbing. However, to those who find it today, this couldn't be more different, as the account carries with it a layer of disturbing context due to the events that transpired after this first video was published.
Okay.
Events that have since transformed the MOS B46PGH page
That boy looked like
into
he
one of
does
YouTube's
police brutality. He ain't even a cop.
channels.
Please meet every woman's
Do
dream.
something so she remembers your name.
Keep your mate with you. Make sure he's someone you can trust. Be careful, is all I can say.
I'm gonna post this and see what comes back.
7 darkest channels. Oh, that's definitely dark right there.
I'm sure most of you guys have heard about the TikTok ban at this point. And honestly, there's something about it that's been bothering me.
Oh,
You
that
or
was a
I could
cool
do
little
simple Google search
transition.
and in a matter of seconds, find countless different data broker websites where you can buy pretty much anyone's personal data to see if any of your personal information is floating around out there on the web. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself today.
That was a cool transition. How's the transition even creepy, bro? How did you find that?
2 bedrooms. To the right is my bedroom.
Without any context, it's hard to know what the purpose of George Sedini's first video was.
The hell's
if it
that
even had
monitor
one at
for?
all. The entire thing just felt so random.
Boy, got
but
a
within
big
the
booty
footage
monitor.
itself was one clue that hints at the fact that George actually had a very specific reason for uploading this, with that clue coming in the form of a book on his coffee table.
Okay, come over here. There's some reading material that we're all familiar with.
It was called How to Date Young Women for Men Over 35, which was about as creepy as it sounded.
My first guest today.
Yo, what's good, Amani? How you doing? I appreciate you being here. I'm glad that you like the video and stuff. I don't really find this weird. I find it sad that this dude legit reading a book about how to talk to younger women. That is legit sad.
Is a 51-year-old bachelor who says if you're a single woman over 30, you're a dating has-been. Please meet every woman's dream, Dawn Steele.
Well, she a prime example of that not being true. She's a good-looking woman. You know, I like the outfit and everything. This is a creepy pause, though, if you think about it, especially with this video and stuff. I really don't like this pause that I chose right here. It's real creepy. Damn it, how I missed his ass. The boy was flying slow.
Its author, Don Steele, had made a living as a dating counselor and life coach, creating various books and programs that were geared towards socially awkward men, exploiting them with the promise that someday they'll be able to get the younger girl of their dreams, even after they reached middle adulthood, and all that they had to do was pay for his course, pay for the book, and dedicate themselves to becoming more desirable.
They all look
and
like
George
creeps.
Sedini was the perfect target. Despite having a successful career as a systems analyst at a law firm, he struggled to maintain any relationships with the women that he met.
Look at him.
It had been well over a decade since he last had a girlfriend, and despite desperately wanting one, George just seemed to lack the ability
Boy, looked like if Shrek lost weight.
to connect with women on any level, even as just friends.
And then got plastic surgery to mess with his, whatever those are.
And as his isolation began to grow, so too did his obsession with finding a girlfriend. George had nearly given up these pursuits too, until he was introduced to Don Steele's course, viewing the program as his last real shot at human connection, obsessively reading the book to the point that he was supposedly able to recite passages by memory alone. On top of this, he would also attend many of this supposed guru's in-person seminars, with some of his visits even being captured on camera and later posted onto Don Steele's YouTube channel.
It used to be down here. It was called a codpiece, and it's gradually over the years moved up here. So it's read like an erect you-know-what.
And it was in these courses where
What?
George was subjected to all sorts
Huh? Sir? A what?
It used to be down here. It was called a codpiece, and it's gradually over the years moved up here. So it's read like an erect you-know-what.
And it was in
Sir?
these courses where George was subjected to all sorts of bizarre and unsettling ideology.
Turn around here, look at me, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do today more than anything else. We're going to do this. Nice guy must die.
But despite agreeing with this man wholeheartedly and following all of his work, George was still making very little progress, which was evident by the footage of him attending these seminars, as he appears incredibly nervous and kept mainly to himself. And so, recognizing that George had much to improve on, he was given an assignment by one of his instructors. He was told to film a video of his house, so that the instructors and everyone else in the class could see if he was really making himself and his environment desirable enough to any woman who might come over.
Okay, couch and chair, they match. The woman will really be impressed.
Oh, damn. That couch set is ugly as hell. But at the same time, listen to how he said that last sentence. The women will be really impressed. This boy, he is nervous. That boy is like eager to get him some, and that's sad.
Okay, couch and chair, they match. The woman will really be impressed.
Knowing this, the footage feels so much lonelier,
He
as
think
it
he
was
kills
almost
him.
like he was trying to sell his way of living as being good enough for a partner that he was really no closer to finding.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
something so depressing about it.
I know,
And
right?
this wasn't his only video.
It is easy for me to hide from my emotions for one more day. Take a long drive in the car, listen to some music, daydream, or just do some mundane task around the house that really doesn't need to be done, that's not too important. And there you go, one more day, and one more day turns into one more year.
Months later, on June 23rd,
My
2008,
God,
George
sir, like, get you a freaking hooker or something. Like, goodness. I really feel bad for this dude, but I mean, this is just the beginning of the story. There's probably a lot that goes into it. He might have did something, or most likely, I mean, this is the only reason why he's talking about it. This boy did something to somebody. But it's messed up how there's a lot of dudes like this, man, where they want a partner so bad. They desperately want a partner to the point where they like, bro, I'm going to take it. It's like, come on, bro. That's not how you do it. And I understand that you feel desperate and you're impatient and frustrated and all that. What it really seems like you need is some friends, bro. That's what you mostly need. That's the most important thing that you need. That's what you really need. You need friends. You don't need to go to no damn conference or any type of grouping or whatever when it comes to them teaching you how to talk to a woman. You need to go and get some friends. So then y'all could go to the bar, bro, or go to the gym or go to like a nice little party or something. Then you will meet somebody, or you can have some friends where like y'all just go to church and you can meet a girl there. You never know, man. But trying to go to a seminar, that's not how you do it.
Returned with an upload he had filmed inside of his basement, and in it we get more insight on just how severe his isolation had become, though he still held on to a sliver of optimism thanks to Don Steele's course.
Now, RDS says that I have approximately maybe 15 more years to be successful at this. And when I heard that, I wanted to continue immediately to start moving on this. I didn't realize I had that much time. So what my objective is to be real and to learn to be emotional and to be able to emotionally connect with people.
Before he eventually reverts back to talking about his uncanny desire to find a younger woman.
Because when I'm 10 to 20 years older than she is, she has to feel good about this thing.
Ending the video with hints of an uncertain future.
I'm going to post this and see what comes back.
Dude, your house looked like you kidnapped people.
He would never upload again. And soon after, it appears George gave up trying, essentially accepting his life of loneliness. But while this would be the last video made to his channel, he wouldn't leave the internet entirely.
Got his
Soon
bitch
after this final
ass.
video was posted, a website was launched called GeorgeSedini.com, which served as a place for George to blog about his emotions. And while something like this could have been beneficial for him,
Why do this to young girls? Just read below. I kept a running log that includes my thoughts and actions after I saw this project was going to drag on. November 5th, 2008, planned to do this in the summer, but figured to stick around to see if the election outcome. Okay, this particular one got so much attention that I was just curious. Not like I give a flying fuck who won, since this exit plan was already planned. Good luck to Obama. He will be successful. Is this a goodbye letter? The liberal media loves him. America has chosen the black man. Oh, and you're racist too. Wow. Good. In the light of this, I got ideas outside of Obama's plans for the economy and such. Here it is. Every black man should get a young white girl hoe to hone up on. What? Kind of reverse engineered or indentured servitude thing. Long ago, many older white male landowners had a young, N-word wench girl for his desires. About time tables are turned on that shit. Besides, them young white hoes dig the brothers. What? Look what this nigga just said. This nigga said, them young white hoes dig the brothers. LOL. Did he write? This don't even seem like something. I mean, like, I'm talking like I know the nigga. I don't know. Like, this seems like a completely different person from the video that they showed of this dude. More so than they dig the white dudes. So you're mad that you can't get a young white girl because they want to get black dudes? Every daddy know when he sends his little girl to college, she be banging a brother real good. I saw it. Not my little girl, daddy says. Yeah, right. Black what?
this website would instead only serve to capture
black dudes have their choice of best white hoes. You do the math. There are enough young whites so all the brothers can each have 1 or 3 or 6 months or so. What?
his descent into madness. An immediate red flag was raised by the very first text you see on the website, as George wrote, "Why do this? To young girls? Just read below. I kept a running log that includes my thoughts and actions
Oh, he's going
after
into it
I saw this
himself.
project was going to drag on," with the line serving as some sort of bizarre disclaimer, though with no other context. George's entries began. December 22nd, 2008. Time is moving along. Plan to have this done already. I will just keep a running log here as time passes. Many of the young girls here look so beautiful as to not be human. Very edible. After joining this gym, started
What?
lifting weights and like it. This early post encapsulates what this blog would be focused on: young women he would see throughout the day, his time at the gym, and his plan. This plan was never expressly stated on the website, but it was something he obsessed over, mentioning it in every single one of his posts and dubbing it the exit plan, even going as far as to provide a date and time for it: January 6th, 2009 at 8:15 p.m. Before this day would come, however, he would provide further insight into just how lonely he was. Moving into Christmas again, last Christmas with Pam was...
I was just about to say, it's crazy how he's saying the exit plan is January 6th. This happened before the whole government thing on January 6th. But, wow.
1983. Who knows why? I'm not ugly or too weird. No sex since January 1990 either. I was 29. No shit.
Nigga, you haven't had sex since 1990 and it's 2008. This nigga hasn't had sex in 18 years. No wonder he's crazy. Oh my gosh. Like I said, get you a hooker, bro. If it gets to that point, if I haven't had sex with a girl in like 5 years, 10 years, at that point, I'm just gonna be like, bro, I'm just gonna have to buy it. I'm sorry. Like if my game is that bad to where I can't get a girl for like a one night stand or something, or just like a quick little date, as in like we talking for like a couple months or whatever, and then it like ends. If I legit go without that for 10 years, bro, I might as well just buy it. Like, it's not that deep to then stalk girls and then think about being a cannibal from what it seems like from that one comment talking about they look real edible. Unless he was trying to be sexual or something, which that was corny. No wonder you ain't pulling no hoes. And I'm not gonna be hating on another race and trying to come up with corny jokes and stuff about another race dating the girls that I'm into. And then it's like, I think this is another thing that a lot of dudes go through. And I don't even know why a lot of dudes are like this for some reason. I don't get it. I don't know why men want to talk to young girls. I do not get it. Like, to me, a woman is a woman. I'll talk to a girl from the age of 19 to 100 as long as she look good and she know what she doing. I don't care. I'ma talk to her. And also as long as she ain't crazy, as in like a devil worshiper and stuff, and she ain't got nothing going on downstairs that's gonna get me caught up. I don't care. As long as she look good to me, from the age of 19 to 100, whatever, I don't care. I'm getting it in. I don't know why dudes find it so gross to talk to a woman that's 60 or to talk to a woman that's 40. There's so many fine ass 40 and 60-year-old women. It's insane to me. Like, probably my number one celebrity crush is Salma Hayek. And she's like 57, 58, something like that. She looked good as hell. I just don't get it. And that's one of the reasons why they keep failing, is because, damn it, I think I missed that one. That's one of the reasons why they keep failing, is because they keep trying to talk to young girls, and these young girls don't like your ass, bro. They don't want to talk to your old wrinkly ass. Then that's when you get mad as hell and want to become racist and be petty and shit, when you start seeing these girls talking to freaking black dudes. They don't want to talk to your old, wrinkly, spoiled milk looking ass. They don't want to talk to you, especially when your house look the way that it does. Like, dude, it's 2008 and your house looks like it's 1998. Who the hell wants to be in that shit?
18 years ago. I actually look good, I dress good, am clean shaven, bathe, touch of cologne, yet 30 million women reject me over an 18 or 25 year period.
Why do
That's
you
how I
want
see
them?
It. 30 million is my rough guesstimate of how many desirable single women there are.
And it's probably the way
With
you
several other posts of the same
approach
nature,
them.
The day eventually came for his big exit plan.
And you look like the
January
type to
6th,
get
with George writing one message
terrible
that
cologne.
afternoon. I can do this. This log is not detailed. It is only for confidence to do this. The future holds even less than what I have today. It is 6:40 p.m., about an hour and a half to go. God have mercy. I wish life could have been better for all, and the crazy world can somehow run smoother. I wish I had answers. Bye. Despite this appearing to be his final post, George Sedini wasn't quite finished, as he would come back only hours later, writing simply, "It's 8:45 p.m. I chickened out. Shit. I brought the loaded guns, everything." Whatever
What
George
the
Sedini
hell?
had been planning that day, it was clear that his exit plan was something incredibly disturbing.
And nobody
based on his
saw
use of
his
guns,
blog.
plural, it was likely not just an exit plan for himself. But thankfully, he didn't go through with it. In fact, he seemed to have dropped the plan entirely, as months would go by without any update to his blog. Though this wouldn't last, as in April of 2009, he began posting yet again, with these entries being even more disturbing. July 23rd, 2009. Wow, I just looked out my front window and saw a beautiful college-age girl leave Bob's house across the street. I guess he got a good lay today. College girls are hoes. I masturbate frequently. He is about 45 years old. She was long-haired, hot little hottie with a beautiful bod. I masturbate frequently. The strangest part of this entire website was, according
This fool need to get a therapist, bro. I'm legit getting angry now. I'm getting angry. I'm like close to getting angry to the point where you start crying and shit. Cause like it's never that damn deep. I understand that there's a lot of dudes who see themselves above paying for intercourse and stuff. I understand that. But it's like, if you legit cannot fight your urges at all, you might as well just pay for it. And it's like, you so worried about the young girls, now you all up in other people's business and shit. Like, that's weird.
to those he worked with and the neighbors, they all thought George was normal. A little off, sure, but it appeared that these disturbing thoughts and plans were kept solely in his blog and solely in his mind. But on July 28th, 2009, this would all change. George had boarded a Port Authority bus that day and took a seat, carrying with him some sort of duffel bag, and as the ride commenced, he unzipped the bag and began to fiddle with something inside of it. An anonymous man sitting next to him noticed this, and curiously leaned over to see what he was doing. In George Sedini's hand was what appeared to be a grenade. The
Where the
stunt
hell did he
passenger
get that
ran off at the
from?
next stop and immediately alerted the police. But bizarrely, nothing actually came of this. No explosions happened that day, and upon police eventually tracking down Sedini 2 days later, he was searched, but there was no sign of this supposed grenade, and the man who had reported this incident was unable to positively identify him. And so, George was released, allowing him to continue on with his day, and to continue on with his posting.
Yeah, that just sped up the
August 3rd,
process.
2009. I took off today, Monday, and tomorrow to practice my routine and make sure it was well polished. I need to work out every detail. There is only one shot. Also, I need to be completely immersed into something before I can be successful. I haven't had a drink since Friday at about 2:30. Total effort needed. Tomorrow is the big day. Last time I tried this in January, I chickened out. Let's see how this new approach works. Maybe soon I will see God and Jesus.
What?
This was the final update made to GeorgeSedini.com.
You
and
never
unlike his
got
previous
married?
attempt at carrying out this
I was just
exit
gonna
plan,
ask that.
This time, he didn't back out. On August 4th, 2009, George Sedini would enter an LA Fitness in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, and walk directly into a woman's aerobics class with a duffel bag in his hand. He then dropped his bag on the floor with a loud bang before he closed the door and shut off all the lights. In a moment of darkness and confusion, one witness recalled that she felt the presence of someone who didn't belong there. Before total panic would ensue, everyone was just screaming so loud. At first, I didn't even think shots were being fired. It was so surreal. At that moment, George Sedini had brandished 2 guns from his bag and opened fire on the group of 30, all of whom were women, which was entirely the point. In that dark, cramped room, George would discharge his weapon 52 times, striking 12 different women and then himself. Of the injured, 49-year-old Elizabeth Gannon, 38-year-old Jody Billingsley, and 46-year-old Heidi Overmeyer would tragically lose their lives, while the others were left with permanent injuries, both physical and mental.
This dude mad at the world that he can't freaking get a woman. And he's mostly attracted to younger women. And he's mad that younger women are not attracted to him. So you go ahead and kill older women? Women that you're not even attracted to. I thought he was going to do something like going to a college or something. Why would you go into an aerobics class and kill women you're not even fucking interested in? That makes no damn sense. But like I said, that dude was crazy, man. You know how many toys you probably could have bought. Like I said, how many freaking hoes you could have bought. You keep saying that, oh, this woman's a hoe. Oh, they hoes. Da, da, da. Bro, you could have bought some hoes. You had no girlfriend, which I know you probably had some money. You had your own house. You probably had enough money to bring in one or two girls or almost a different girl coming in almost every damn day. I know it was probably going to have people asking questions and shit. There's so many different things you could have done, man. Taking somebody's life is never the answer.
It wasn't hard to find a motive. George had spelled it out right there in his blog. He desired women so much that his inability to ever gain a real connection with any of them turned his infatuation into pure hatred. And this is how he wanted to make them pay.
Yeah, now that's an
and the
incel.
ironic part is that this was all so avoidable, as these plans were heavily implied on his website, which had been publicly available online for roughly an entire year. Yet no one cared enough.
I mean, who would have known about that shit? But like you said, yeah, no one cared because no one knew about this nigga.
Enough about him to ever look.
Exactly.
It is easy for me to hide from my emotions for one more day.
Knowing what we know now, George's channel is highly disturbing, as it shows us a glimpse into a mind on the verge of completely snapping, and a last gasp attempt at achieving normalcy by a person who would go on to become a monster when he didn't get what he wanted.
Just everything I need. Well, that about sums it up.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis.
I legit thought that he was going to, like, at first, I thought he was going to kill somebody, but then that's when the blog came up, I thought that he was just going to end himself. But then after a while, I was like, he's about to do both. Okay.
Just having a little drink.
Mark Williams always dreamed of being a YouTuber. He had grown up watching parkour content on the site, becoming attached to both its many talented creators and the hobby itself, eventually becoming so inspired by it that he launched his own channel in 2019, at the age of just 15, with Mark hoping that someday this channel would make that dream of his come true. The page went by many names over the years, but eventually Mark would settle on the moniker Displace, and depending on who you ask, his videos were either extremely impressive or extremely irresponsible. They showed scenes of Mark high atop buildings, jumping rooftop to rooftop, climbing on massive abandoned cranes, and fleeing from security guards and the cops on more than a few occasions.
Police are on the way already now.
Yeah, they'll catch me then, won't they?
Often seen with him was his younger
You see how that dude took off? From just the way that the camera was and how he took off. This boy was running. What the hell? What type of run is that? Boy running like he's supposed to be in Bikini Bottom. Oh, bitch ass. That boy really
Often
thought he
seen
was
with him was
moving.
his younger brother, who he had grown incredibly close with, which was due in part to the fact that Mark was somewhat of a loner and didn't have many friends in his own personal life. Though according to his mother, this wasn't necessarily by choice, as she explained that he did desperately want friendship, and he was incredibly caring. He just had a habit of making the wrong friends, describing Mark as trusting to a fault. Mark's longing for camaraderie became especially apparent not long after the launch of Displace, as his brother slowly began appearing less and less in his videos, forcing him to do these free runs by himself, which he implied was something he didn't enjoy nearly as much.
My brother, who was part of the channel, Ben, he's not now. I don't think he's coming back at all. He ditched me, leaving me by myself, and I've got a problem with talking to myself as well.
This, coupled with the fact that he was dealing with the tribulations of growing up, led to his uploads on the channel becoming more and more sporadic, as he would often go dark for a few months, only to return with the promise of more consistent uploads.
That's never
Right,
good.
guys, don't know if you can see me or not, but I promise you this place is coming back.
That often never came. It was clear that he still longed to be a YouTuber, he just needed some sort of a spark. And sure enough, at the end of 2020, he would find one right in his own comment section. In a since-deleted video, Mark would receive a comment from a man named Lewis Ashdown, who explained that he was a big fan of Mark's content and that he would love to join him in an upcoming video, as they both just so happened to live in Uckfield. It was exactly what Mark had been needing, a friend, and not only a friend, but a friend he could make videos with. And so that's exactly what he would do.
Hi guys, I'm back here with Lewis, and we're going to do the water treatment facility in Uckfield on the industrial estate. See you in a sec, guys.
From their first meeting on, Lewis became a core part of the Displaced channel, leading to the two growing closer by the day, with Mark speaking about this bond on a live stream in March of 2021.
If you're going exploring at an abandoned pub, yeah, keep your mate with you, make sure he's someone you can trust, you know, and be careful is all I can say. Because in the video where me and Lewis climbed the college, you know, I was constantly looking out for him, because he did get dangerously close to some of the edges, but you know, that's what life's about, isn't it?
But despite finding his new parkour partner, Mark still had other issues getting in the way of his uploads, as he was now 18 years old, and was facing the reality of having to get a job, forcing him to put his channel on the back burner. Mark discussed this struggle and the many others he was facing at the time in that same March livestream, with his tone about Displace's future sounding less than optimistic.
I've been doing some talking with Lewis, seeming like he wants to get back into climbing and stuff. I haven't actually done it since Christmas, and I've got a bad back. It's been getting worse and worse lately. Don't know why. I need to go to the hospital and have myself checked out. I am not sure where my channel is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing these videos. I don't know if I'm going to be doing different videos, or whether I'm going to stop completely.
But unlike other times when he had gotten down on his channel, this time he wasn't alone, and his friend Lewis was there to have his back, as he pushed Mark to continue his work, even showing up in the comments of this livestream under the name Moral Unknown, where he went as far as to offer up a potential location that they could film their next video in order to get Mark re-inspired. We'll do Buxted Hotel first video back? And sure enough, just days later, the two would arrive at Buxted Hotel to begin filming yet another video.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis. Just having a little drink.
This would be their last on the Displaced channel,
Shaking
as not
my
even
head.
2 months after it was uploaded, both Mark Williams and Lewis Ashdown would vanish without a trace.
Probably went to the
It was the
wrong
waning
place at the
hours of
wrong
Saturday,
time.
May 29th, 2021.
Thought it was abandoned.
Mark met Lewis at the Maresfield Recreation Ground to have a few drinks and discuss their next potential video. Though once there, it was the drinks that took priority, and very quickly Mark had become intoxicated, leading to him calling his house to tell his aunt, who he had been living with, that he would be heading back now. On the call, his aunt could tell that he was drunk, but Lewis chimed in to assure her not to worry, telling her, "I'll get him home safe," which made his aunt feel slightly better. After all, it was only a short few-minute walk back to the house anyway. Instead, 12 hours would pass, and Mark still hadn't made it back, while Lewis himself also failed to arrive home. At some point during their short walk back, both boys had disappeared.
That's
They
weird.
were reported as missing the very next morning, and the area they were last in was combed thoroughly, though very little was uncovered. Around them had been large pockets of forest and murky bodies of water, leading to some questioning if perhaps the boys had gotten lost, or even had fallen into the water. Though regardless of the theories, as a full 24 hours passed, many began to fear the worst, until something strange happened. Reports began pouring in from witnesses claiming to have seen Lewis. Some thought they saw him leaving a local pub the morning after he supposedly had gone missing, while others had seen him at a local movie theater, seemingly completely unaware that the whole town was looking for him. These sightings introduced the possibility that the boys were perhaps runaways, causing several pleas to be made throughout the press, begging them to come back home. But it would be the police who would find Lewis first, tracking him down at his friend named Liam Hansen's house. There, the cops fired off a barrage of questions, as they not only tried to get answers as to where the boys had been, but more importantly now, they needed to know where Mark was. Throughout all the sightings, it was only ever Lewis that had been spotted, and even now, after searching this friend's home,
That's
Mark wasn't
dirty.
there either. So where had Mark Williams gone? Well, Lewis himself offered very little, outright refusing to speak on the boy's whereabouts. But his friend Liam wasn't so quiet, as when he was questioned separately, he claimed to know exactly what had happened on the night of May 29th, 2021, the day in which both boys had disappeared.
That boy Lewis
He
told
knew
him.
because Lewis had told him.
Exactly. Why'd you
According to the boy,
freaking
the night
hurt
that
this
Lewis
boy,
and Mark had
man?
met at the park, Lewis poured a cocktail for his friend, and then another, and then another, each one stronger than the last, causing Mark to become drunk almost immediately. Realizing he was drinking too much, Mark told Lewis that he had enough, but Lewis persisted, outright demanding that he keep drinking, leading to Mark begging Lewis to let him stop. At one point, Mark's pleas finally caused Lewis to back off, as the boy instead agreed to make him a non-alcoholic drink, only for him to fill the cup with even more liquor when Mark wasn't looking. By 11:30, Mark could barely stand, prompting him to make that phone call to his aunt, letting her know that he would be back soon. Meanwhile, Lewis had been so preoccupied with getting his friend drunk that he was still fairly sober at this point, and in his sober state, he promised Mark's aunt that he would get him home safe. Seconds after that phone call ended, Mark hunched over to vomit, which is precisely when Lewis pulled a large kitchen knife from his pocket and plunged it directly into Mark's back. Mark
Why?
stumbled and asked Lewis to call him an ambulance, being unable to comprehend what had just happened, to which Lewis responded by laughing, before doing it again,
What?
and again, and again.
That's
This is
crazy,
what Lewis had
man.
told Liam in the
You can't tell who is crazy sometimes. You legit cannot tell. Because I'm looking at the dude's picture, Lewis. He looked like he was a chill dude. You was building a shower rod caddy for your bathroom? Oh, that's cool. That's what's up.
After the alleged attack, but as Liam recounted the story to the police, he made it clear that this wasn't just a tall tale, as he had actually seen it for himself. When Lewis had told him the story, he pulled out his phone and put it up to Liam's face, revealing that he had filmed the entire ordeal. And sure enough, when police searched Lewis's devices, they would find that footage, though it was far worse than they ever could have imagined. On Lewis Ashdown's cell phone were 7 total videos depicting the attack, with the footage spanning nearly an hour in total, during which Mark had been stabbed 107 times.
Why?
On top of having a number of other sadistic things done to him.
What?
And all the while, it was said that Lewis was giggling manically. When asked about what he had seen in those recordings, Liam provided further detail on just how awful the attack was, recounting that he ripped Mark's eyes out. Proper psychotic stuff. I was going into shock. I was shocked how he came out with it. I wanted to run and tell someone.
Why would he show you that? And then why would you watch that? I would have been like, nigga, I don't want to watch that shit. Even how I was playing it off like, yo, man, not chill out, bro. I don't want to watch that. But it seemed like he's the type of dude, he pressures people a lot. Like, just like how he pressured Mark to keep on drinking, he probably would have pressured me to keep on watching. And he probably would have known, oh, yeah, this nigga right here, he about to snitch. Because I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to watch that. But it's like, bro, I ain't trying to get traumatized, man. I don't want to see that, bro. I would have tried my best to play along and been like, man, yeah, man, that's kind of messed up that you did that, bro. That's crazy. Like, dang, you really did. How'd you feel and stuff? I'm like, all right, cool. Shoot. Dang, I gotta go, man. I forgot. I got a meeting to head towards, bro. Oh yeah, I got a meeting. We it's some break dancing vegetables and shit. All right, just came up with just anything. I can't.
This was clearly not a normal crime. It displayed a level of evil and hatred that goes past human comprehension, and due to its brutality, police assumed that surely something must have happened between these two to breed so much hatred inside of Lewis.
Exactly.
But according to Lewis, this wasn't actually the case. Instead, he stated that he had simply found Mark to be annoying, and that he had been wanting to kill him for some time because of this, and had just been waiting for the right moment.
What?
Plus,
Why not
he
just
always
stop
wanted to know
talking
what
to
it
him?
was like to kill someone. And that was it. That was his entire motive. Lewis Ashdown would be arrested the day he was found and later sentenced to life in prison, with parole eligibility in 25 years, while Mark's body was found dumped in a nearby body of water and eventually given a proper burial.
Hi guys, I'm back here with Lewis, and we're going to do the water treatment facility.
With this
Man.
context, Mark's channel is utterly...
And that boy legit trusted you, man. He felt comfortable around you and everything. That boy kind of felt like you was a brother, since he said his own brother walked out on him. That's
devastating. All he wanted was a friend to film videos with. But sure enough, as his mother had warned, he was trusting to a fault.
If you're going exploring
yeah,
in the
yeah.
abandoned pub,
If you think about it,
keep your mate-
like his mom did say, he always makes friends with the wrong people, and he ended up making another friend with the wrong person. That's so dirty. It's messed up how this world is. His brother should have just stayed with him, but at the same time, he's like trying to force people to do stuff they don't want to do. Like, that doesn't justify him getting killed or whatever. I'm just talking about for his brother to leave and not want to do any videos anymore. I can completely understand, because like his brother, I mean, I don't really want to do this, bro. You want to do this, so like, you do it. You don't need me to be there to do this. I understand you want to bond with somebody and everything, but it's like, dude, there's sometimes we can do a video together, and there's other times you could legit just do this by yourself. You feel me? Or mostly you can do it by yourself, and then every once in a while I'll do a video with you. And I think maybe Lewis felt the same way after a while. Because I think Lewis, when he was like, yeah, I'll do some videos with you or whatever, he didn't think that this dude, Mark, was going to want him to do so many videos. And then that's when, of course, there's other stuff that was probably being said and done that he was like, bro, I cannot stand this nigga. He was like, bro, I cannot stand it. I really got to kill this dude. I cannot stand his ass. This dude is annoying as shit. But that still does not justify you taking somebody's life.
You make sure he's someone you can trust, you know, and be careful.
Which brings us to a disturbing revelation. Just months before he would kill Mark, Lewis was the one that encouraged him to get back out there and film with him, and based on his testimony that he had been wanting to kill Mark for a long time, it makes it very clear that he was doing this not to be a good friend, but to get Mark alone in an isolated spot, so that he could carry out his plan. And adding more weight to this theory, when they visited the Buxted Hotel, which Lewis himself had suggested during the livestream, Mark was uncharacteristically drunk.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis. Just having a little drink. Okay, so we'll smash this after we smash these.
Which was never really part of his channel before that upload. And Lewis was uncharacteristically nervous.
We're going to do a couple more bangers. Can't tell you what they are in case anyone's watching that shouldn't be watching. Who's watching? Well, no, I mean...
The feds?
Watching the videos. Because yeah, I know that the police do watch my channel sometimes.
Paranoid even of being caught by the cops, despite being totally unfazed in previous videos, where in some he was literally being chased by security guards. And coincidentally, by the end of this video, we get an indication as to why Lewis was so nervous. Because he had been carrying a knife. All this leads me to believe that that night, Lewis pushed Mark to film a video in an abandoned location, then got him drunk, and was going to carry through with the murder, before eventually backing out for unknown reasons. And all the while, Mark was completely unaware, never once suspecting that the man he had been filming with had secretly been plotting to kill him, and one day would actually go through with it.
Okay, I'll wrap it up now then, guys.
It'd be the people closest to you, man.
Yep, I'll see ya.
I'm gonna try and stay on this side and go across. Well, this should be quite amusing. Enjoy.
I do feel a little bit terrified now. That's why I'm over like looking back.
Joshua Brown started his YouTube channel back in 2010, a time when many individuals, including himself, used the site to upload random videos offering momentary glimpses into their lives. Joshua was in his mid-30s at the time and had recently finished serving in the Navy, before eventually settling down in Canton, Ohio, where he focused on his many passions. He loved driving, he loved technology, and he loved a little bit of danger. And soon, he became infatuated with a product that was essentially the sum of all three. For Joshua, these electric vehicles were a technological marvel and the future of the automotive industry, and he dreamed of one day having one. with that dream eventually coming true in 2015 when he would purchase his very own Tesla Model S that would eventually become his life and his YouTube channel's primary focus.
Teslas are whack.
He began uploading videos of his new car immediately, but rather than these focusing on the vehicle itself, it was its most controversial feature that interested him the most: autopilot. The feature had become available for Tesla drivers in October of 2015, which is exactly when Joshua purchased his car and began uploading these videos showcasing its possibilities.
Did he get into a car accident?
It takes all the stress out of it. Get to your destination slightly slower, but hey, at least now you don't have to worry about anything. It's just let it go.
He wanted to essentially be a pioneer, providing an overview of what self-driving was really all about, breaking down the specifics and showcasing a variety of unique situations that you might find yourself in if you were to use this driving mode yourself.
This section in here is going to be
So for the
very
people-
difficult for the car to handle.
I want to ask the people who got Teslas, when it comes to the autopilot, the self-driving, does it also knows like when another car is coming and it will like stay still, and then once that car passes, it will make a turn? Because I've never noticed that. I know that it does like the turns on the windy roads, and it's mostly for highway shit, because it's easy to switch between lanes and stuff. And like I know, like I said, on windy roads, it can make like a little turn here and then maybe like that. But I don't know if it actually stops at stoplights and will turn. I know it probably does now because we have self-driving taxis now. For anybody that's rode in a Waymo, you know, we got those now, and those stop at stoplights and do all that stuff. So I know now it probably does that, but I'm talking about like at the time when this like first came out.
filming this just so that you can see scenarios where the car does not do well, so that you've got something to judge off of it when you're driving on your own.
And he tried to make a point of doing so safely, as he never used the camera behind the wheel, and always had someone helping him to avoid any accidents. But despite his focus on safety, it was clear that he was pushing the capabilities of this brand new technology, as at this point it was still in its infancy, with one of the more glaring red flags being the placement of his hands.
Here we are, stop and go traffic on 271, and geez, car's doing it all itself.
When Joshua was shown driving, he hardly ever had his hands on the wheel, as he said he wanted to get the true experience of self-driving. This was something that Tesla had actually adamantly advised against, and even had visual and audible warnings if it detected that your hands were off the steering wheel. But Joshua seemed to find a workaround, as he instead used his legs to avoid tripping the sensor, while keeping his hands close by,
crazy,
ready
bro.
to grab
You
the
are
wheel in
so
case-
fucking hard-headed. Are you serious? Why are you so lazy? Like, even when I had a car that was somewhat self-driving, I had the 2003 Hyundai Sonata Limited. I had that last year. And yeah, there'll be some times where like I would want to experience the car driving on its own and I ain't got, but I'll have my hands like this, and I'll only do it until the sign comes up and be like, hey, yo, put your hands back on, and then I'll have my hands right there. And I will only do it just like that one time. I wouldn't just be like, all right, my hands like, all right, now let me do it again. No, after that, I'm like, all right, cool. I got my hands back on the steering wheel. I don't know why this dude just sitting like this. Boy, probably over trying to fall asleep and all the shit. So he probably did get into a car accident.
Of an emergency.
How I actually do it is so that it is really actually hands-free, is I keep my knees up because the tack works pretty good, but I can still get my foot down to a brake and just keep it like this because you can react so quickly.
It was clear that Joshua truly believed that this car that was driving him was safe, and this belief was only strengthened on April 5th of 2016. That day, Joshua had been driving his car on the interstate when a large truck suddenly merged into his lane, with its driver not even seeing his car. And before Joshua could even react, the autopilot kicked in and veered out of the way, avoiding what would have been a certain collision.
Wow, okay.
Amazed by the event, Joshua would upload dashcam footage of the close call to his YouTube channel, where he praised the vehicle's response. Tessie did great. Excellent job, Elon. This video
That's
would immediately
interesting
go
right
viral,
there.
exploding to over 4 million views between the two versions that Joshua had posted. But while the response to this video was overwhelming, especially for a channel that was accustomed to getting just a few hundred views, there was one response in particular that impacted Joshua the most.
Somebody talking shit?
As Tesla's owner, Elon Musk, would repost the video on Twitter. Stunned by the tweet,
Fuck!
Joshua would later state, "For something to catch
Elon would
Musk's
do some
eye,
ignorant shit like that.
I can die and go to heaven now."
Well, you about
He
to.
had no way of knowing then, but this would not be the last time that Elon Musk would tweet about him, though his next feature would be under much different circumstances. It happened just 1 month after Joshua Brown's video had gone viral. He was driving on Highway 27 on a clear sunny day at approximately 4 p.m. With open road ahead, Joshua turned on his trusted autopilot, and it stayed in autopilot mode for over half an hour, as at this point, his trust in the car was higher than ever, causing Joshua to seemingly lose focus on the road, as he was quickly coming up on an intersection where a massive 18-wheeler had been turning left, blocking Joshua's entire lane. Joshua was seemingly so unfocused that he didn't even notice it. Even stranger, the car itself didn't detect this either, despite the entire trailer being horizontal in their lane. This was due to its pure white body, as the sun was shining so brightly against it that, for whatever reason, it became invisible to the self-driving AI. And with neither Joshua nor the car registering the danger that they were in, the vehicle would strike the trailer, going 74 miles per hour.
Damn.
There
Hopefully
were no
you had your
attempts by
seatbelt
Joshua
on.
to even move the steering wheel, and the brakes hadn't so much as been tapped. The collision happened at full speed, and it happened so fast that the car drove straight through underneath, shearing the entire top of the vehicle off, and continuing driving full speed down the road, before it would eventually crash to a halt. When the driver of the truck rushed over to see the damage, Joshua Brown was already dead, and the truck driver could hear nothing but the sound of Harry Potter.
You can own it on DVD and video. The adventure is bigger. The magic is stronger.
Was this nigga watching a movie?
Harry Potter, Harry Potter.
Discovered in Joshua Brown's car was a DVD player, which many believe Joshua had used to watch Harry Potter while on that drive, thus explaining why he
Nigga, how stupid can you be? And what's crazy is, like, I've been seeing this on my TikTok For You page for a minute, where you got legit people on, like, the TikTok shop trying to promote and sell certain devices that you can plug into your car for, like, if you have a car that has a touch screen or any type of screen in the center of the car, you can plug this device into your car and it basically will turn that screen into like a Fire Stick. So then you can watch Netflix and stuff in the car. That's just so fucking stupid. It's dumb. I don't know why the fuck people want that shit. But I understand some people are like, oh, well, you know, I can watch Netflix in my car while I'm sitting in the parking lot. Nigga, use your phone. Are you serious? And then we starting to see a lot of newer cars, which I don't have a problem with this. This is cool. We're starting to see a lot of newer cars putting screens on the passenger dashboard so the passengers can watch TV while the driver is driving. Now that I don't have a problem with. That actually sounds pretty cool, especially if you look at a lot of these new cars, they'll have like a privacy screen. So if you're the driver and you look over, you can't see what the fuck they're watching because they get the privacy screen right there. Or what they'll do is they'll have the dashboard be tilted and kind of facing this way towards the passenger. So then the driver can't look over and see what they're watching. They'll have to like legit go all the way over into their seat to kind of see what they're watching. So like that's pretty cool right there. Cause I already know we've had cars and trucks, mostly SUVs, but I know there's been some cars and trucks that has had TVs legit implemented into the headrest, the back of the headrest of the front two seats. So those was cool. My stepdad, when I was a kid, he used to have something like that.
Reacted to the impending collision. Now, this is something that has been disputed by his family, and ultimately it doesn't seem to have been fully proven or disproven. But in the end, the fault of the accident was placed mainly on the driver of the truck, who had made that left turn, and Joshua Brown, who had failed to pay attention to the road, as it was revealed that during his 37-minute drive, he only had his hands on the wheel for just 25 total seconds.
Dumbass, bro.
Joshua Brown always wanted to be part of the innovation of Tesla's autopilot.
Isn't the car supposed to like slow down?
He wrote himself into the history books as being the first person to ever perish in a self-driving accident. And while this is no doubt a tragedy, his death has led to numerous safety improvements and a better understanding of the self-driving technology, that he had given his life to study.
Well, I guess he achieved his goal like he wanted.
I just wanted to hop on here at the end and give a quick shout out to my friend.
Yeah, so that was a cool video. That was a lot better than the last video that we did yesterday. I'll say we can do one more video and then we'll get into the movie. I'm trying to say something though. So I know that this is like right when the whole self-driving first came out. So I know they probably didn't have that type of technology where the car slows down after a while, because what my car would do when I had the Hyundai Sonata, even though I know it's not full self-driving, I know the 2004 or 2005 models, they have went a little further with the self-driving to where it's a lot better than the car that I had, to where like my car, it will kind of drive on the windy roads and stuff, but it wouldn't really do that. It was mostly just for the highways and stuff. But now the cars they drive like on the windy roads, and you don't really have to do that much besides have your hands on the wheel. But if you don't have your hands on the wheel, what my car would do is, after telling you like 2 times to put your hands on the wheel, the car would slow down, or it would like disengage from self-driving to where you have to start driving yourself. So that's kind of messed up. But I would like to hear your thoughts on that, YouTube. How'd y'all feel about this video? What other stuff would you like for us to watch? But yeah, this whole video was straight tragic, man. Absolutely.